Come on in and grab a drink. Talk about anything. Grab a cigar, just sit right down, all family here. Let's go! Welcome to the show. Drinks and Dave. Drinks and Dave. Welcome to the show.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. Well, we went from 3 to 6. I was going to say I forgot. I thought I forgot to unlock the door to the bar.
Well, you know, we had the beer show, and maybe we hit our peak. We'll see.
We peaked.
We peaked.
Well, that's a hello, Linda. Hello, Stephen. And if you're here in the show, please tell us you're here. That'll make us feel better, and we won't be as weepy. We won't be as weepy as our support plant. So what's going on, Dave? How was your week?
You know, not to get down or anything, but today was a pretty hectic, busy, rough day at work. And all I want to say about that is, if you haven't signed like a designated decision maker or something like that, somebody like me could be stuck in a meeting deciding what happens with your life. You don't want that. So just make your wishes known. Tell your family, you know, make sure everybody understands. Get your living wills, do all that stuff. That's all I'm saying.
Medical power of attorney, all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, okay, let me ask you this. Well, let's get rid of the administrative stuff. What are you drinking? What are you smoking?
Your mom. Literally.
I beg your...
It's called Your Mom.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, the way you said that, if you're smoking my mom, that's disgusting because she died in 2016.
All right. No, this tastes much better than that.
Yeah.
Lovely lady. And then I'm drinking K&L Wines here, does their own independent bottling. So this one's called Hepburn's Choice. This is a
nice
12-year-old Craigellachie that it's a bargain. It's like under $50 for a 12-year-old Scotch.
So did they name it Hepburn's because that's something that Katharine Hepburn, because it sounds like something that Katharine Hepburn would drink.
I don't know why they call it that. In the day. It's a screaming deal when they have it.
Well, hello, Rich. Hello, P-Beat. I got to put this up. I like that since our term of the day, and it won't let me. Oh, because I'm not in the right spot, dummy.
Like this?
There, yeah. Never go to a doctor whose office plants have died. Irma Bombeck. So, hello, Rick, Rich, and Eric. I'm boring today. I'm smoking a Quorum again, as always.
Maduro.
No, this one's just a shade. And then I found something new that is replacing the RC0. Although I love RC0.
The stream is like collecting dust.
It is kind of, but Kroger, which is known as Fry's in some places, has this stuff called Big K Zero Cola. It's not real sweet. It tastes like the RC, but as opposed to $10.99 a 12 pack, this is $3.29 a 12 pack.
Now, good, because that's really hard to find, like a store brand cola that doesn't taste like crap.
Right.
So I assume that was zero sugar.
Yeah, zero sugar.
Yeah.
So back to the question at hand. So at some point in time in a situation like that, let's say somebody doesn't have all that, does the hospital retain, for lack of a better term, power of medical attorney?
I can't get into too many details, but in theory, physicians should always do what the patient's wishes are, even if the family completely disagrees. If they know what the patient wants, that's what the physicians are supposed to do. Right. If it's in question what the patient wants, and the family's making some decisions that don't feel right and stuff, that's where it starts getting a little bit hairy and difficult. And yeah. So I'm just saying, all that can be eliminated with saying, these are my wishes.
Mm-hmm. Well, when my mom had had a DNR, and when things got bad, they asked me what, and I said, well, it's what she wants, not what I want. And it was amazing because when we decided to execute the DNR, At first, the medical staff and they kind of did a little bit of a pushback, and I'm like, stop. I said, this is what she wanted. And I guess I can understand, because, people want to preserve life and stuff like that. But, if your family member says, that's it, I'm done, don't do anything,
Yeah.
That's why I'm not
hospital specific, kind of the.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it was. And that's quite frankly why I'm not totally against, and this sounds terrible because being a Catholic, I shouldn't say this, but the whole assisted suicide thing. I mean, if you've got a terminal illness, I mean, there is no chance, it could be months, and you make the decision to say, hey, I don't want to fight this anymore. You should be able to make that decision. I mean, we make the decision for our pets. So I don't know. And I think isn't there one state where it's legal? Is it Oregon?
It used to be Oregon. It's gone back and forth, and I don't know where they're at. I'm sure probably my dad can post in there, but even then, at the time, it was legal with a lot of restrictions, but you had to be able to take the pills. So if you were wait too long and you couldn't take the pills yourself, then you're out
right,
of luck.
because then technically, I guess the state could come back and say you murdered that person. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's tough. So I got to ask as we move forward.
Yeah.
Okay. You said crying plants. I did no research on this.
Right.
Is that like a leaf sweating or what?
No. So I have a few questions. Obviously, you are not a vegetarian.
No.
So in theory, most of us in this country are very far removed from the food source, right?
Mm-hmm.
And some people who are vegetarian do it because of the way we treat our animals, right? That they're all crammed together. They don't have much talking about quality of life,
right?
All that stuff. If you were closer to that, but I bet you've hunted.
Yeah.
Have you hunted and all that stuff? So that kind of answers that question for you. If you were closer to that and saw the animal you were going to eat die, would that kind of change your philosophy about it? And the answer is probably no, because you've seen that, right?
Well, yeah. And the thing is, I think the most important thing is from the hunting standpoint, that if you use, and I guess you could point to the Native Americans and the Alaskans, is when they killed something, they used every single part. Right. And I don't think we in the US, there's a lot of waste. And so are you saying that is that like a reverse veganism? So people that don't eat plants because they're afraid they're killing a living being?
Well, no, I'm getting there. That was my first question, because I just think a lot of people, if they had to deal face to face with the meat before it ended up on your plate, might go the way of veganism or vegetarian or whatever. So I was listening to this science show this morning where they were talking about plants and the way that plants kind of think and kind of have memories. And it all sounded like hoo-hoo and stuff.
No, I think it's scientifically proven.
But it's it's science related. And so some of the examples they were using is like a sunflower, that it will track the sun during the day. And you can just say, well, it evolved and somehow, it heats up on this one side and it pulls it around and all that stuff. But then at night, it droops down. But in the morning, it raises up to where the sun is going to be before the sun's even up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of interesting. And then they talked about, can plants communicate with one another and stuff? And so apparently when you cut your grass, the smell of cut grass is this chemical that relates to a wounded healing plant, right? So like the grass thinks it's being eaten or whatever and releases this stuff to try to heal and all that stuff. So if you put that chemical on a different plant, it starts producing the stuff it would if it were harmed and needed to heal, right? So they're equating that to it certainly doesn't mean to communicate with another plant. It just happens. Like if you get your hand bitten by a lion and you start screaming, then other people are going to run away. You're not communicating with them, but they pick up on that.
Right. But the other lions are going to come by and say, "Ooh, free meal."
So that was kind of I was just like, I wonder if, you've got people eating raw vegetables, and instead of like these gases being released or whatever, they were screaming in your ear. Right. So vegetarians that won't eat meat because, we don't treat the animals nicely, if instead of releasing a chemical, if they were screaming, would they not eat the carrot?
Well, that to me, that's in my personal opinion, that's the hypocrisy of veganism, because they've already proven, like with what you're saying, like underneath the ground, the root systems of forests, like where you're at, it's like a neural network. I mean, they all communicate with each other. And so is a plant a living being? Well, I guess you could argue the point that it is. And you're right. There was a plant in Harry Potter that when you replanted it, it started screaming. I mean, literally screaming. Because So, I mean, are the plants screaming when we chop them down? I don't know. I mean, that's a really good, a great argument against veganism.
And so this is interesting because they said, can plants count? Because a Venus flytrap, it closes up when something goes in there and touches the hairs, but it doesn't do it when it's touched once. Otherwise, every time a leaf falls or the wind blows. So when something triggers it once, it gets ready. And it's the second time that it shuts, right? But it has to happen within a certain period of time. Otherwise, it'll just reset the whole thing. So you could argue that, this is just all chemical processes and all that stuff. But same thing with the human body. It's just all electrical signals and chemical moving from one place to another that produces, your muscles to go or.
Well, you bring up a good point as far as vocalization. Like if somebody stabs you with a fork, you're going to scream. You shoot an animal, it's going to scream. If you cut the leaf off of a tree, it doesn't scream. Now, is that only because it doesn't have a way to vocalize?
Right. Is that their downfall? That's where Darwin did them dirty, that they can't scream. And so now all the people that don't want to eat the cute big-eyed cows are just going to munch down on all the lettuce because it's mute.
Right, exactly. Baby mandrakes, that was it. Mandrakes was the name of the thing. Mandrake, yeah. And so two things I want to catch up. So being serious, this is before we got being serious. What if a nurse or a barber has a last wish to drink scotch or smoke in a hospital room? Probably scotch. I wouldn't smoke in a.
Well, I don't know if he's asking if that's what, like if your patient says this is my last wish. Well, your last wish can't go against state laws and our policies and things like that. So you don't get to smoke. Now, we probably would maybe turn the other way if family wanted to bring in a drink of scotch for somebody before they get taken off. And in fact, you can, in some instances, for alcoholics that are, on withdrawal and stuff, or the dietitian can order a beer and stuff. I mean, now it's moved to medications mostly.
Right. Well, we obviously have brought up a subject that P-beat is very deeply, are you describing a fast-growing annual, deciduous flowering herb featuring distinct palmately compound leaves with serrate? Okay. First of all, P-beat, you know who is the host of this show. No,
that's not what we're.
We'd have to get a what do they call them, a horticulturist or.
Yeah,
but no,
it was a good point though. They're talking about it's all chemical signals and stuff. Well, so is the body.
Well,
so are the animals. So
a perfect example: The Wizard of Oz. Scarecrow's up, yanks an apple. The apple tree gets pissed off and starts throwing apples at him because it hurt.
Perfect example. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. So anyway, it was just an interesting thought.
So how does this dovetail into plants crying?
Well, that was it. If they could cry, if they could scream, then would we have less vegetarians?
Good point. Because when I was doing the graphics for our thing, it
Mhm.
talked about plants crying. I didn't click on it, but it basically looked like the plant was crying. It had,
Oh,
yeah, it's like,
What's
but
that?
does that mean I'm not going to enjoy a salad? No.
No.
Because, and that's one reason why people say maybe aliens will eat us because we're just meat
Meat bags.
bags.
Meat bags. Yeah.
So no, that's interesting to think about, because, and I never really have that, people that, and I should preface this by saying this disclaimer: we are not dissing veganism. You do
Do
what
your
you want. You do your thing, but don't. After this conversation, maybe it'll make you think about going up to somebody who's enjoying a big tomahawk ribeye steak and say, you can't eat that because of the animal screaming. Then you can turn around and look at their tofurkey thingy that they're eating and say, well, wait a minute. The soybean could have screamed when it got killed.
Coulda,
You
just
don't
like a
know.
lobster in the boiling water. I mean, and again, obviously, this is simplifying it, right? Because like
Right.
growing a bunch of chickens in a place where they can't move is very different than, spacing out your carrots so they get nice and plump in your fields and all
Right.
that stuff. But
Yeah.
anyway,
So, well, that's interesting. Are they, so, you're talking about free range type stuff, free range chickens, free range this, they're allowed to go and scratch and peck and do all the things that
free range
chickens do.
carrot,
Well, I was just going to ask you about that. Yeah. Are there free range carrots? I guess that would be the term organic.
organic. Well, no, what would it be? There's got to be some farms where it's like au natural, right? Like where we
Yeah.
just kind of let the seeds do what they want and we go, because still organic. So I worked on a organic farm in college for
Mhm.
about 5 minutes. And what was interesting, dude, do you know this? Working on a farm is hard, let me tell you.
Well, yeah.
I learned that. Especially an organic one where you can't spray weed killers. So you're out there with a hoe in a commercial farm, hoeing the weeds out between the corn plants. That's unpleasant.
Did you
But,
wear a big floppy hat?
No, I probably should have. But the Hispanic guy I work with always made fun of my pale white skin, and he called us coffee and cream. He was coffee, I was cream. But we could spray a bacteria on the corn that would get into the bugs and kill the bugs. So you couldn't spray pesticide, but you could spray a bacteria that would kill the bugs, and that's okay because that's organic. It was. So some of this I don't know, and maybe people will say, "Oh, that's fine. It's not a chemical," but still, you got this bacteria now purposefully on the corn that you're eating. I don't know that everybody knows what actually. Oh, here we go. PB had to chime in. What about that? Yeah, you eat those live, don't you? Holy cow! Have you ever eaten anything live or near just?
Yes. Bugs.
Bugs. Because I've seen some fish and like what octopus they do like that it's still moving and they chop it up and you eat it like sashimi, but just it's still. That's a little close for me. A little close.
Well, I think with the octopus, so when they chop it up, it has because each arm has its own brain. So I think what you're getting residual neurological stuff, because if you pour vinegar on it, it'll squirm around, and it's like a party trick.
But I saw videos a couple years ago in some other country where you buy food on the street all the time, and they had live bugs that they put in this plastic container with spices and stuff and shook the shit out of them, basically killed them, and then you're eating these just killed bugs with these spices all.
That might be. Well, you figure that's bugs are the largest protein source on the planet.
Yeah. When's that going to happen? That was so we were supposed to get cricket flour a long time ago, weren't we?
I think they have it. I think they have cricket flour.
Yeah. Well, how come it's not cheap? Shouldn't that take over cricket flour?
Maybe they're organic crickets.
Yeah.
But then again, wouldn't all crickets be organic? mean, see, that's the thing. Organic, you'd think, okay, so that means no pesticides, but really, if it's grown in the ground, isn't it kind of really organic? So are we getting ripped off by buying organic?
No, they got weird rules, but I keep saying I want the hormones and I want the pesticides because I don't want no weird like tumor-laden cows making my burgers, right? I want them all juiced up on steroids and healthy. That's what I want.
tumor-laden
Right?
cows.
It's no liver disease. I don't want no cow limping into the slaughterhouse.
Yeah, but then again, some of the chemicals they put in chicken feed and cows and stuff like that, it's nasty stuff.
Yeah, what free range?
Free-range
Can you
cricket
imagine
flour.
how hard it'd be to catch enough free range crickets to make enough flour to have a cake? Maybe
Well, they
that's
probably go to a lot of residential areas because there's always those crickets that you can't find that are chirping,
the
and you know
cricket-
it's in the same room as you.
Maybe they need a. Do they? They've got like the sheepdogs. What would you? You'd need some animal to round up the crickets.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep them in the pen, like a little ferret or something. A little cricket ferret.
Cricket ferret.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's interesting. Well, then you could go to say, at a certain point in time, if famine reaches a certain level, we may be eating crackers and they may be green or red. And, of course, Charlton Heston will come out from the grave and say, Soylent Green is people,
Yeah, these crackers are crickets. These crackers are there's a good tagline somewhere. Yeah, they had come out with cricket stuff, and I thought it was going to take off, and it kind of died away.
Well, I know at Kroger here, you can buy insect chips, like tortilla chips and stuff like that have
but they're
cricket
super
flour. That I think they're made
expensive, right?
they're made out of
Like
cricket flour, I think.
3 people buy it.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing with people, they look at a certain type of food and it just turns their stomach because in their mind, they wouldn't do it. Like, some people literally they freak out if you see a burger or a steak or stuff like that.
Yeah. So that's the problem is you just have to not think about what's in your food.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I don't even I guess you have to have ingredient lists. I wouldn't, as a matter of course, look at it because it's like if you're eating a chip and it tastes good and it's been processed through a factory that had like some regulatory body went through it and checked for the cleanliness and all this stuff. What do you care if that's wheat flour or cricket flour that's in the chip you just ate? It's all just in your head, right?
Mm-hmm.
Except Jiminy Crickets. He's got a come on, man.
Yeah, don't mess with Disney.
Don't go there.
Well, that's like people that will not eat from food trucks, or they won't eat street food. Like if you go to a foreign country, eat street food. I mean, yeah, you could get the two-step, but
that was the first trip I ever took with my wife. It was this nice resort in Mexico, and it's one of those. Of course, it's not in a great part of town, but it's got the big gates. And as soon as you close the gates, you're in paradise.
Right.
And so after a few days, we were like, well, let's go see the town. That was a mistake because as soon as you walk out those gates, they had the street food, and you see where they're preparing the food on the backside of the tent, where the cutting board is on a cardboard box just above the street, and there's a bucket of water they're washing their hands in and stuff. And obviously, people aren't passing away eating there, but we're from a first world country and kind of used to a certain level of cleanliness.
I think what it comes down to is gut biome.
No.
I mean, because if you think about it, if you grew up eating nothing but that street food, it's like dogs, dogs and cats and stuff like that. The ones that are strays that are out eating, roadkill and stuff, they seem to be okay. I think it's all about what your gut biome is.
Yeah. Oh, so that's kind of like how you got to let your kids play in the dirt and get exposed to all this stuff so they don't grow up with peanut allergies, right?
Mm-hmm.
We also need to make sure that not their food's a little on the funky side to get them used to all that stuff. Yeah.
Eric says if you haven't spent 3 days in the crapper after eating curry nachos in Tijuana, you haven't lived. I would love to know that whole story one of these days.
Have you ever had the Mexican trots on vacation?
No. I've got very good gut biome. I can eat anything. I
Do
mean,
you?
we used to we when I was in Southeast Asia, we went to Bangkok and we ate everything off the street. It didn't matter, and I never got sick. Now, that should be noted that it was also tempered with a number of alcoholic beverages that probably killed everything too.
Kill it, yeah.
That's pretty
So
good.
but that's a good point. Is it we got now the trend is probiotics and all this shit, right? It's the same thing. Like your body's made with bacteria in the right places, right? We're not meant to be sterile, and then they're selling all this probiotic shit. Like you're supposed to know better than what your body has equalized, right? And mess with your own. But if you're going to Mexico or somewhere else, maybe they can microdose whatever it is in their water before you go, so you don't have to worry about it.
Well, you hear all these stories about when you go to foreign countries, don't drink the water.
Right.
I've never had an issue. Never.
I have.
Oh, you have?
We went to a nice all-inclusive resort and did the whole thing, right? Brush your teeth with bottled water. Whenever you get drinks, we asked about the ice, and they said, oh, the ice, we have it shipped in and all this stuff, and don't have ice water. It's always soda or whatever. We did all of that stuff. And yeah, I was on the phone with the resort doctor going, oh my God, I got to come see you. But no, you just go to the gift shop and they've got the triple pack of pills that you buy for 20 American dollars. But yeah, luckily there's enough time to recover before getting on the plane back home. Because could you imagine having that while you're on the airplane? Jiminy Jones, that would be awesome.
Well, and again, I think that all depends on what you grew up eating, what you grew up, tasting. Because, I think, like I said, I think it's all what's in your gut, and if your gut is an atomic nuclear factory, you can pretty much eat anything. And how I would say that
you can put up with all this
spicy food.
Is that the trick?
I think so. Because I grew up with spicy. Never had a problem with my stomach.
Interesting.
When it comes to that. But like P-Beat says, but the soldiers in Vietnam got sick from the land, even though they're eating U.S. made rations. Yeah, but the argument to that is they were eating sea rats, and some of those sea rats had a shelf life. I think they found them in Israel somewhere. I mean, they've got a huge shelf life.
Well, plus they were crawling through the mud and all that stuff anyway, right? So there wasn't a lot of sanitation.
But I think Rich solved it right here. As soon as you get in country, no matter where it is, pull out your trusty handy camp teaspoon and just take a couple of shots of dirt. Well, that's like here in Arizona. In fact, I just had a client talking to me about that. He just went through valley fever treatments. And valley fever here in Arizona, there is in the dirt and the dust and everything else, there's a bacteria called coccidioidomycosis. And what it does is anybody who's born and raised here had valley fever and never knew it, because we just grew up with it that way. Hence, again, the location where you grow up in. But people, I've seen two of my friends got it. They can never come back to the state of Arizona. Their doctor said, you go back, you'll die, period. And then this guy almost died. In fact, they suggested that he move away from Arizona because of it. So, because their bodies aren't accustomed to it. Yeah, it's pretty serious stuff.
So like when you're younger, you can get exposed and then overcome it and be resilient. But when you're older, it's too late, huh?
Yeah. So I like this. So if we ship the oyster challenge via USPS, you won't get sick. Well, that depends on the temperature that it arrives in. If it's ice cold. No, if it's ice cold and it's packed in It's packed in dry
They'll
ice.
end up like oyster leather by the time you unwrap these.
Yeah,
things.
exactly.
It'll be delicious.
Well, remember, we were going to try the whole insect thing,
Mhm.
but unfortunately, they're related to shellfish, and that would have been that
Right.
would have been no bueno.
You got to try that, Dave. Take some oysters and see if you can turn them into, instead of meat leather, you turn it into oyster leather.
Oyster jerky.
Oyster jerk. Yeah, I was trying to think of the word. And
Well,
that
the
would
thing
be
is,
good for travel. You could have a bag
right,
full of
that's
oyster
true.
jerky.
Well, a lot of people, love oysters. A lot of people hate oysters. But the thing is, even the people that love oysters, if they get one bad one,
Oh,
one bad oyster will ruin you forever, or at
right.
least for a
You're talking
long,
about
long
where
time.
you get food poisoning from it, right?
No, just you
Oh,
can
just the
taste it.
taste?
As
Oh.
soon as it hits your mouth, you're like, this is a nasty oyster. But
Yeah.
I like oysters, so.
All right. Well, what's new with you? You're still high on your drone game.
Yeah, still having fun with the drone, still doing fun with that. I like canned smoked oysters and sardines and kippers, and I like all that stuff. Although the one thing that I can't open up in the house due to my lovely wife is kimchi. She won't let me. Yeah, but see, the thing is, PB, if you get botulism, all you do is you put it into a syringe, and then if your wife has a wrinkle, you just shove it in there, and boom, we're done.
Jeez. Save the juice from that bad oyster.
That's right. Save the juice and make somebody a Barbie. No, as far as the drone stuff, no, it's going good. Although I was telling you off camera before that I was doing some night operations last night. I had to put a anti-collision light on it, and I couldn't get it to focus, and I couldn't figure out why. Well, I forgot to take the camera cover off before I launched the drone. Didn't find that out till it was about 400 feet in the air, but we fixed it.
Well, so this is a new drone, because I think the last we heard from you, you had a drone and it was a little bit all over the place. Is this one
right?
nice
This one's got 3 actuated gimbals on it. And then the other one was an electronic gimbal. And the problem is when it would, because on the new drone, when you're flying sideways and you go to a hover, the gimbal, it's floating. So you don't see any jittering and stuff like that. So
wow, that'll be hot.
So it's been fun.
And
just
we haven't
another hobby.
Right. We haven't had an update on the second new hobby. No, it's 3 hobbies ago, the rocks. Because they've been collected, they've been tumbled. You had to get some machine that nobody ever heard about to cut these things.
We're still doing that.
Has there been any jewelry production yet?
Not yet. Okay. That's the next, because I bought her a cabochon machine.
That one.
Yeah, and it hasn't been. We haven't figured out where we're going to do it at, because we need to clear out we're going to clear out a room and make it an art room. So we got a lot of
full of rock dust, and you'll get like asbestos lung.
Well, see, that's just it. We're thinking about doing it in the shed that we have, just clearing out the shed and doing it in there, because we've got electrical to it, and we can put exhaust fans in and stuff like that. So
yeah.
But most of the time when you're doing the cabochon, you're doing it over water anyways. So
Kimball was the guy on what was that movie where The Fugitive?
Yes,
that's Kimball. Man, that was a good movie. That was an old movie.
The one with David Jansen or the new one with Harrison Ford?
The new one from 35 years ago with Harrison Ford.
Well, yeah, that's true. We watched a movie last night that we have never seen before. It was done in 2011, and it was called Cowboys versus Aliens. It was with Daniel Craig. It was excellent. It had Harrison Ford, Daniel Craig, the girl that played in Tron, the really good-looking girl that played in Tron. It was a great movie. It was an excellent movie.
Harrison Ford is in a current TV series. Do you know that?
Yes. Yeah, where he plays a psychologist that's got Parkinson's.
Yes.
That's got Parkinson's,
that is
right?
so good.
Yeah, it's called what's it?
Shrinking.
Shrinking, yeah, because it's got the guy from his partner or that works in the office that used to be in that other sitcom.
Yeah.
With,
Oh my God. We need a young person on the show that can remember stuff.
yeah, exactly. Well, actually, Eric's been really good at reminding us those things. Yeah. Is it How I Met Your Mother? Yeah, How I Met Your Mother. That was the name of it. Because it had Barney. It had Barney in it.
But the second season of Shrinking has one of the guys from that soccer show that was super popular.
Oh, from Brexit or not Brexit? God, why do you do this?
You know what I'm talking about, though.
I know what you're talking, and that's all that matters.
But yeah, one of the really big mean soccer player guy. He's in the second season. Excellent, and apparently he's the writer of the show.
Oh wow,
the writing is really
Ted
good.
Lasso. Your wife comes in and saves the memory day.
Yeah, we just finished season 2 of the show, and season 3 should be out soon. Pele? No. Pele. That's an actual soccer player from
way back. Brazil, I think.
Yeah. Anyway.
So have you got caught up on all the Landman?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, man.
Why? You didn't like Landman?
It's gone off the his whole who's the producer dude?
Taylor Sheridan. Taylor Sheridan.
He's an ass, but he produces some amazing shows, some good writing, but I think his specialty is 2 seasons. I do this great show, 2 seasons, drop it, and I move on to something else.
Well, but Landman just got signed for a 3rd season.
Maybe, but
no, it already it's done. And then Lioness is finally coming back. That's the one with Morgan Freeman and Zoe Saldana. That's coming back.
That was a good series. But what was that? 3 years ago was the last episode.
That's the problem with these minimal episode series is they get done and then you have to wait. Like we're in the middle of I think season 3 of The Mayor of Kingstown, another Taylor Sheridan thing,
right?
With Jeremy Renner, and I guess they're done after 5.
He needs to find some writers he trusts just to keep this stuff going. It would be a money machine.
Well, he writes everything.
Right.
And that's the thing. Problem. He does all that. Well, what gets me is how does a guy do Tulsa King, Landman, Open Range, all the Yellowstone series? My God, I mean, wow. The problem with Dave is he gets bored very easy. I like. Hey, there's an idea. An idea. If we can get the Barflies to bring their wives to one of our shows.
Oh, sweet.
We could do the Newlywed Game where we ask the questions and they have to post up what the answers are. But the problem is we got to get them to be engaging. So that's interesting. So now I know that. See, I didn't know this. I thought like when I've asked you about shows that you say, I don't like. So you get bored. That's what it is. You get bored easy.
Well, and I don't tolerate moving away from the main script much. Like when they introduced, so Landman was 11 out of 10 when it started. Then when they introduced his wife and his daughter, it dropped to 9 out of 10. Like that, I don't want to see crap.
Linda, Steven, good luck. We just went through that the last 2 weeks, so have fun. And thanks for stopping by.
Because like what, For All Mankind, how long you been waiting for that?
But it's starting in March. I am so excited. So excited.
Is it? See, and I'll force myself to start watching it again, probably because it was good. But if they make you wait too long, it's like I moved on to it.
Well, I think it's way, it's like 10 to 15 years after the last one ended because they show the commander and he's like old.
Oh,
so it's like For All Mankind, the next generation.
Yeah.
They're, I guess that's what I've heard, but I'll still watch it. How long a movie is too long? If it's good writing and a good movie, I mean, look at Dances with Wolves. I mean, you could have gotten married, divorced, had a plate of nachos, and it was still only halfway through.
Well, wasn't F1 2.5 hours?
Yeah. Well,
think
and
when you
go ahead.
get close to 3, you're pushing it, just because I know you guys take 5 hours to watch a movie because it's pause and go do this and bathroom break and snacks and all this stuff. We like to watch it all the way through. So once you're getting much past 2.5, that's a long.
So that's why you didn't like Gone with the Wind.
That's not why. We've already talked about that, Dave. I did finally watch F1.
F1's a great movie.
Crap, that was good.
Wonderful movie. Wonderful.
Yes.
Although you have to suspend belief a little bit, because I guarantee you there's nobody that's 60 years old as like us, except for Mario Andretti, that's going to be signed for an F1 team. But
so we watched a documentary about the making of that.
Oh, really?
Movie that was so interesting, and how immersive that was, and that they actually filmed at actual F1 races. So when they show them standing with the other racers on the starting line and stuff, that was during an actual race. They stood out there with the racers.
So F1 allowed them to film that way.
So they spent a year getting permission.
Wow.
And then they actually were filming when the Screen Actor Guild strike went on. So they kept filming. They couldn't film with the actual actors. So they went and overseas and filmed all sorts of stuff with like stunt doubles and things like that to keep it going. But
I thought it was at first I wasn't going to watch it because I you know me, I love racing so much, and I'm like, they're going to really make it terrible.
What was that terrible one? Was it Stallone was in it that he would throw the coins on the track and like slide around and pick them up on the tires?
That was stupid. Yeah. So we have a question. What is the best and or funniest Robin Williams movie? Wow, that's tough. One of my favorites is Mrs. Doubtfire.
Is it?
It's not the funniest, but wow.
Well, I don't know. Patch Adams, that was just a good movie all around. It was a feel good. Yeah,
I agree. P-Beat, it would have been better with Paul Newman.
Paul Newman in that.
But,
yeah.
But Brad Pitt did a good job. He really did. And the thing is, that the other racer was supposed to be Hamilton. That was who it was supposed to be.
Yeah. Well, and he was in the movie, and his dog was in the movie, Hamilton.
Yeah, that's right.
And,
that's right. The world according to Garp. That's right, because when he bit the dog's ear off, that was hilarious. Yeah. So that's we lost a gem with.
Yes.
Good Will Hunting. Yes.
Excellent. That's a top 10 movie right there. Good Will Hunting. Yes, sir. I just watched a movie. Freaking the two buddies. One of them was in Good Will Hunting. Ben Affleck and Matt Damon.
No,
they're in a newer movie too.
Where they play cops, right?
Yes, that was good. I like those guys.
What was the name of the movie? There was the name of a movie that had Matt Damon. It had DiCaprio. It had Jack Nicklaus, and it was all about gangs in Boston. Oh, was that an incredible movie? Yep. That's my wife's favorite movie is Dead Poets Society. Oh, Good Morning Vietnam. Probably the funniest one that he's done is Good Morning Vietnam.
Yeah, I had the soundtrack for that, and he would always have his interjections in the soundtrack. I listened to that a lot. Good. Except that got see, that's the one thing. TV shows and movies I watch for entertainment, and if they have a sad ending, hate it. Hate that it ruins the whole movie. I don't watch movies to get emotionally jerked around at the end. Just saying.
So, did you cry when Old Yeller died?
Who?
Old Yeller. You've never seen Old Yeller?
No. I might have seen it in school. I don't remember.
Oh, okay. Did you see that they're remaking The Exorcist?
Why?
But well, apparently, from what I read, it's supposed to take place at the same time that the 1973 version took, but it's a different. See, being Catholic, those type of movies, this is going to be funny to some, but those type of movies just invite crap into your house. Seriously, because we believe in demons, we believe in exorcism. So yeah,
Well, I think if as long as you're burning sage while you watch it, you should be safe.
Moscow on the Hudson, there's another one.
Yeah.
So you like action movies or mindless entertainment is what you're saying.
Right. I mean, to me, that's what entertainment is for.
So you don't want a movie that emotionally destroys you by the end of it.
What fun is that?
It's real, man. It's real. It's real, man.
Shoot, I was gonna mention something and I forgot. Well, look at it. This is a good show. We started with crying plants and moved on to
movies
and
okay. Well, but we got to finish with our telltale. What is your favorite movie food?
in the theater or at home?
In the theater.
Well, tater tot nachos.
What?
Yeah, I only go to the movie.
Oh, you go to those movie theaters where you can have a complete dinner.
Yes, sir. Where it's got the electric lazy boy and the tray table that swivels over your lap. Yeah, they got.
Okay, so answer me this. I've been to one. Okay, I've been to one. So I like that he doesn't go anymore. So you sit down and it is nice to be able to get a burger and everything else. But the lights go down. You're watching the movie. And then when you leave, you look down and it looks like the burger exploded on your body. But more importantly, if you can lay back and relax and eat anything you want, why don't you just stay at home and watch the movie there?
You read, I usually do.
To me, it's popcorn. You got to have popcorn. You got to have a soda. And recently, I found out that if you put Reese's Pieces in the popcorn, it's life-changing.
Well, now you talk about a mess. Isn't your hand buttery and sticky and chocolatey by the end of the movie?
you just wipe it on the seat next to you. No, Reese's Pieces aren't chocolate. Reese's Pieces are peanut butter.
Sorry, hard candy coated all over your fingers.
No, because remember, M&Ms, they don't leave any trace. And a Reese is not an M&M, and I realized that after I said it.
Putting it in your popcorn? I figured because it gets soft and kind of the butter.
It's really good. Yeah, it's really good.
I see. Yeah, I'll only go to those. But it used to be, because then theaters have gotten much better now. I stopped going because the floors were always sticky. Somebody was always talking. I was like, what am I going to the theater for, just to be irritated every time?
Right. Well, it's like going to an airport. Same thing. So PB brings up, what is the best movie made in Arizona? The Searchers, Easy Rider, or Planet of the Apes? I would say none of those. The two that I think were the greatest were The Wraith and Lily of the Valley with Sidney Poitier, because it was filmed when before there was any development in Tucson. So like they filmed it in Push Ridge, which is right near us. It was an excellent movie. Excellent. And then all the Westerns. I'm a huge Western person. So all the Westerns that were filmed at Old Tucson. So to me, that's one of the best ones. So, and one of my favorite movies that I'll watch every time it's on, and it drives Sharon crazy, is Shawshank Redemption. I'll watch that every single time.
Yes,
it's just a classic movie.
Yes, Junior mints. I do enjoy a good mint because it makes the soda much more. You get the kind of spicy mintiness in your mouth, and then you drink that cool soda. And I like a contrast like that.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you eat nachos, whether it be, well, some of our people, I still think, have gone to a drive-in, but when you get the nachos and you don't get the cheese separate, you get it on top of them. Do you
Yeah.
enjoy the final nacho or the final two nachos at the bottom that are soggy but saturated with cheese? I love that. With the
Do
right
you?
amount of jalapeno on it, it's perfect.
You need a fork then.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Nachos with a fork.
Yes.
Yeah. I prefer them crunchy though. I like the crunch when they get soggy. Yeah.
My favorite John Candy movie would probably be Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, probably, or Stripes. I liked him in Stripes.
Wow, these are all throwback things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not nasty cold nachos. That's the problem.
No,
You
no,
gotta get
no.
down to the bottom quick.
Yeah.
Well, you're not in these theaters. The seats are wide enough, and you got like an armrest with your cup holder and all that between the seats and all that. You're not right next to anybody. So
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really were popular for a long time, and then now they've kind of mellowed out a little bit.
with the big theaters,
With the ones that the ones that serve the food and because we had one here that when you went in, if you bought popcorn, it was unlimited, and then when you left, they gave you this monstrous bag of popcorn. And then if you joined their
Oh.
movie club, you had free popcorn anytime you wanted it. But they also served alcohol there too, so it was kind of fun.
yeah. Well, same with this. You can get your wine or cocktails or whatever at your seat. But there's this movie theater in Portland that's attached to a pizza restaurant.
Oh, that
And
would
it's
be
one of
cool.
those where it doesn't have movie theater seats. It's got like couches with long tables in front of it and stuff like that. And they'll
That'd
bring
be
the
kinda
pizza
cool.
right to your seat.
That'd be
That's
kinda cool.
living. Yeah.
The most we ever got into a trunk going to the drive-in in high school, I think, was 12.
You did not.
Yeah.
12 in one car?
Well, yeah, and that was 4 in the front and 6 in the trunk. But we also knew the girl who was in high school that worked the booth, so we could get in because she knew we had people in the back.
I see. Did you actually watch the movie, or you just bring in beers and you play on the playground out in front there?
No, we watched the movie. We watched the movie because we'd always go see a horror movie or something like that. And then there was
that's
always
what I was gonna say. Did you see that broke the record for the most Oscar nominations as some horror movie this year?
yeah, it's that one that takes place in the South.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
gonna watch that thing?
no, I'm not into horror movie. Anything, like I said, being Catholic, anything that invites evil into the house, I don't know. American Graffiti was a classic. Now, P-Beat, if you liked American Graffiti, I'm sure you enjoyed Hollywood Nights. Hollywood Nights was a classic. New Baum Kirk.
Man, you
And
guys
it was
are cool.
Michelle Pfeiffer's and Tony Danza's first movie.
Tony Danza. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
There's a throwback to a guy that hasn't done anything in forever.
Yep.
You should be thrilled. They added all the Bond movies to Netflix just very recently,
Mm-hmm.
so you don't have to leave your house for days.
No, and I love all the Bond movies, all of them.
Yeah, I saw some of the previews. I'm gonna have to rewatch some of the old Sean Connerys now.
Yeah. To me, when I think we've talked about this before. When I look at, to me, Sean Connery will always be the best Bond, always, followed by Daniel Craig, then followed by Pierce Brosnan, then followed by.
Now, after Daniel Craig, it goes downhill quickly, I would say.
What's that?
It would go. You got
After
Sean
Daniel-
Connery, then Daniel
Right.
Craig, and then it's all also Rance, almost like, and the other Bonds.
Well, yeah, but I mean, Pierce Brosnan, I think, was all a timing thing for him because everybody loved him in Remington Steele, and they thought he'd make a perfect Bond.
No, like a
Then-
year ago or more, you were talking about a new Bond coming out. It still hasn't happened. What's going on?
No, well, the thing is, you start seeing all these rumors, and there are some rumors that say it's a totally new actor that we don't know of. Some people have said Cavill,
right? but
is gonna, which I think would be perfect because he's
haven't
Scottish.
you been hearing about this for a year or two
Yeah.
now?
Well, that's like we've been hearing for those of us that are Star Trek fans. We've been hearing about a new Star Trek movie for almost 10 years now, and nothing.
Oh.
The Lords of Flatbush was another good one. Yeah, Eric, exactly. I would love to see Henry Cavill as Bond because he's Scottish. He would probably be more Sean Connery like, but I think they're looking for somebody extremely young that can carry the series going forward, because Idris Elba I thought would be great.
Yeah, it's weird because they'll get a Bond and then they'll be coming out like every other year as a new Bond movie, and then you'd think somebody would be wanting to rake in this money.
Now, will I go see Spaceballs 2? Absolutely. If it's got Mel Brooks' name on it, I'm going to go watch it. Because that's what's really called silly, stupid humor. I haven't heard of Hogwarts in Space. I haven't heard that. But okay, what movies, and I don't know if you're like this or your wife is like this, what movies will you watch no matter how many times you've seen it when it comes on TV? Or
50 First Dates.
Okay.
That's one we'll both watch every time it comes on, midway through, whatever.
Well, because the best part of that movie was when she chases Adam Sandler's buddy through the fields, beating the heck out of him.
Yeah.
See, okay, Rich brings up Star Trek Academy. I don't know if you've been watching that yet. I think it's fantastic. I think it's wonderful because it takes place so far in the future in the Star Trek canon that it's not canon. But Holly Hunter, who I love to begin with, just does a fantastic thing. And there's all this controversy because there's a scene where she's a captain and she puts her feet, she's laying back reading a book with her feet up in the chair, and people freaked out. So I like it.
But that a captain would never do that?
Apparently not.
Man, people are wound tight.
Well, they're saying it's also too woke, and I don't see where it's woke at all. But if you're really into Star Trek, the Jem'Hadar were only male, but we're talking 1,000 years in the future after Earth is already burned to a crisp, and so they made a female Jem'Hadar, and she's in a lesbian relationship with an old. Who cares? It's still good.
You know what was so this science show? I told you I was watching Neil deGrasse Tyson. It's his show, and so the episode after that one was with William Shatner.
Mm-hmm.
And that was super interesting, them talking about space and technology and philosophy, all this stuff. But I'm sure you knew this. I didn't. But William Shatner mentioned that Star Trek was only on for 2 or 3 seasons.
Three seasons. Yep. 3 seasons got canceled.
And he said he was living like in a van in a parking lot after those 3 seasons, that nobody liked this thing.
Well, did you know that if it wouldn't have been for Lucille Ball, Star Trek would have never happened? Because it was filmed at Desilu Studios, which Desi didn't own it. She did. And she loved Star Trek so much, because I guess she was also friends with Gene Roddenberry and Shatner, that she funded it. And it wouldn't have been. But think about what Star Trek's been around, and it's the influence. I mean, it's unbelievable. I would have to argue the best car movie. I love Gone in 60 Seconds. I know that's a Bruckheimer, but it's a great movie.
Yeah. Was that a question, or are you just throwing that out there?
No, PB had said something about Two-Lane Blacktop, the best car movie. And I don't know anything about Sydney. I don't even know who Sydney Sweeney is. Do you? I don't even know who that is. So.
No. Oh, that's true. The Italian Job. That was a good one.
Ooh. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Little Mini Coopers.
Actually, what was the movie that was with Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx? He plays an assassin, and the visuals in the movie all take place at night. Jada Pinkett Smith's in it. It was absolutely an amazing movie because when I watch movies, I like to see how they set up the shots and just the visuals and the music that goes along with it. Oh, it was such a good movie. And Inception, that as far as original movies, Inception was awesome. So Yeah, there's a lot of movies that we could probably do a show just on movies.
Didn't we just do that?
Well, no, we did it on the list that you were watching. And where are you on that
Oh, I
list,
mean
by the way?
today.
Oh. So how far on the list are you now?
Maybe a third.
What
I know,
what's
but I
next?
think Inception's on that list.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mission Impossible was also Desilu Studios actually did a lot.
Hmm.
But no, Star Trek, I wish it would come back with the cast, but I don't see Star Trek coming back. Now, if Strange New Worlds, which is the prequel to Star Trek, the original series, does what they say they're going to do in season 5, if you're into Star Trek, Pike gets all jacked up and he has to turn the Enterprise over to Kirk. And Kirk's already appeared in the episode so far. So if they do that, then you could see a reboot of the original series. I'm all about that. Because it would be.
Star Trek lost me after the New Generation.
Did it really? You never watched Picard?
Well, yeah, I finally did once we got Paramount. Was that what that was on? Yeah, I watched that for maybe a season, and then it started getting weird.
See, I thought you'd like it because Picard went back to France and owned a winery.
Yeah, he's on a vineyard, and yeah.
You can buy that.
Yeah,
you can buy Picard wine.
Can you?
Yeah, through Star Trek. You can actually buy,
and
yeah, you can buy it through the StarTrek.com thing. Do you have a favorite movie? Absolute 100% favorite movie.
It would be tough to choose. I know Shawshank is up there.
Mm-hmm.
Hunt for Red October. Love that one. Yeah.
That's an interesting question that'll get us in trouble. If you could kiss any actress, any era, who would it be? Sophia Loren, hands down. Case closed. Drop the mic.
It'd have to be my wife.
She's an actress? Well, I guess to marry you, she'd have to be. Well, you set yourself up. I mean, you pitched that right over the plate.
What a name.
I had to swing. No, any actress. Who would it be?
I don't know. Who was the one on Mad Men? Probably that
one. The redhead? The one that was the secretary? Yeah. Oh, okay. I don't remember her name, but I know who you're talking about.
There you go, Rich. There you go.
Hey, she was gorgeous back in the day. Now, do you ever remember a show called Boston Legal with William Shatner?
I remember the name. I don't think I ever watched it.
Oh, it reminds me of The Pit, but just in a legal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because Denny Craig, who is played by Shatner, is starting to lose his mind Alzheimer's wise. And it's just, it's fantastic. Oh, okay. Scarlett Johansson. Okay, I get that. Raquel Welch. Okay.
All right. Well,
I think the winner was Betty White.
Anyway, so we did good again without a good official topic for the show. But again, we got it. Oh, here, let me throw it up there. I mean.
Yeah, if you guys have any ideas for shows, because we're grabbing at stuff. I mean, we're talking. We decide what the show is like usually like 5 hours before the show. So let us know what you'd like to see, or if you'd like to see more food tasting, drink tasting. Because we haven't done tequila yet, have we, or did we?
No, we did not.
So that might be one.
Yeah. Of course, but then that would be, unless we have a sponsor, it's going to end up being the cheap shit that you can get airplane-sized bottles from Total Wine, tequila tasting, and all that's going to be is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Foodstuffs. It has to be snacky food, really, when you think about it. So. Well, I think it was a good show. I hope everybody enjoyed it. And
really good show.
But remember, please, by next Sunday, if you can, email us at that email address, or those people that know both of our emails, email us, and we will try to put together a show that's got substance.
What? That's crazy talk.
that has substance. So, anyhow, I hope everybody enjoys the rest of your week. For those of you that are back east, be safe. I know it's been cold and nasty and ice and freezing and stuff like that. So please be safe. I think that's it, Dave. Don't you think?
I think so.
Say goodnight, Dave.
Night, Dave.
See you guys next week.